Okay, so settling in, and we're going to do a meditation, sometimes called the observer meditation, maybe a little bit different than usual. The bottom line to start the meditation, just have your eyes closed, or if it's more comfortable, as usual, you can perhaps half close your eyes and look downward. Sit in a way that you find comfortable, and just kind of follow my voice, follow the instructions, the directions, and anytime your mind wanders, just gently come back to the sound of my voice. And to start off, notice that you're sitting, and in your mind, picture the room you're sitting in, as if you were on the outside watching. Picture yourself in this room, exactly where you are. And then go inside your skin, get in touch with your body. Notice how you're sitting in the chair. See if you can notice the position your body is in, how it's resting against the chair. Notice the specific areas of your body that are making contact with the chair. And notice any other body sensations that are present. As you're seeing each body sensation, acknowledging it, and then allowing your consciousness to move on. And also notice any emotions you're currently having. And if you're having any feelings, just acknowledge them. And then get in touch with your thoughts, just quietly watching them for a few moments. And I want you to notice that as you notice these things, sensations, feelings, thoughts, separate from those things, there was a part of you that was noticing them. You noticed those sensations or those emotions, those thoughts. And that part of you we can call the observer you. Notice there's a person right here behind your eyes that's aware of what I'm saying right now. And it's the same person you've been your whole life. This observer you is the you that you call you. And next, I'll invite you to remember something that happened last summer. Could be at any point earlier this year. Not something horribly traumatic or extremely upsetting, but just it could be any event, something pleasant, unpleasant, doesn't matter. Just a moment that you can fairly easily remember. Maybe an event that took place, or someone you visited, some activity you did. Take a moment to come up with that, a specific moment in time from last summer or the last few months. And then imagine that you're there now, looking around. Remember all the things that were happening then. Remember the sights, the sounds, your feelings. And as you do, see if you can notice that you were there then, noticing what you were noticing. See if you can catch the person behind your eyes that saw and heard and felt. You were there then, and you are here now. It's not a matter of belief. or logic. I'm just asking you to note the experience of being aware and check and see if it isn't so that in some sense, the you that is here now was there then, at this moment you're remembering from earlier in the year. The person aware of what you're aware of is here now and was there then. See if you can notice the essential continuity in some deep sense at the level of experience, not just the level of belief. You have been you your whole life. I'll invite you next to remember something that happened when you were a teenager. Again, don't try to think of an extremely traumatic or extremely horrible moment. Just any moment. It could be something pleasant, or maybe it was someplace you visited or some activity. Maybe it was sitting in a class with a certain teacher. Just any memory of a specific time when you were a teenager or maybe a young adult. And then again, imagine that you were there, that right now you were there looking around. Remember all the things that were happening then. Remember the sights, the sounds, your feelings. And when you're clear about what was there, see if you can just catch that there was a person behind your eyes then who saw and heard and felt all of this. You were there then too. And see if it isn't true as an established, as an experienced fact, not just a belief, that there is an essential continuity between the person aware of what you are aware of now and the person who was aware of what you were aware of as a teenager in that specific situation. You have been you your whole life. And next, I'll invite you to maybe try to remember a moment, something that happened when you were a younger child, maybe around the age of 6 or 7, or could be a little older. Again, don't purposely try to think of a very traumatic event or something highly upsetting, but just anything that maybe an event or an experience or a place you remember being, or people you remember being with when you were, a fairly young child, or at any point from your childhood. And then again, imagine that you are there now, looking around. See what was happening. See the sights, hear the sounds, feel your feelings. And then catch the fact that you were there, seeing, hearing, and feeling. Notice that you were there behind your eyes. You were there then, and you are here now. Check and see if in some deep sense, the you that is here now was there then. The person aware of what you are aware of is here now and was there then. You have been you your whole life. Everywhere you've been there noticing. This is what's meant by the observer you. And from that perspective or point of view, consider different aspects of life. Maybe starting with your body. Notice how your body is constantly changing. Sometimes it is sick, sometimes it is well, sometimes rested, sometimes tired. It may be strong or weak. You were once a tiny baby, but your body grew, and it's been continually changing as you've aged. You may have even had parts of your body removed, like if you had surgery. Even your cells are dying and being renewed constantly. And your body sensations, what you feel in your body changes, comes and sensations come and go. Since we started the meditation, various sensations have likely changed. So all these sensations, all the aspects of your body are changing, and yet you, this observer, have been there your whole life. So while you have a body, you don't experience yourself as just your body. Notice this is a matter of experience, not just of belief. Notice your body now for a few moments. And as you do this, every so often notice you are the one noticing. And now I'll invite you to go to be an observer of another area. Your roles, the different roles you play at different times in the day or throughout your life. Maybe notice how many different roles you have or have had. Right now, you're in the role of a patient attending a therapy group. Sometimes you're in the role of perhaps being a mother or father or son or daughter, or in the role of being a friend or neighbor or coworker. In a sense, we're playing some role all the time. If we try not to be, then we'd be playing the role of not playing a role. Yet all the while, notice that you are also present. The part of you that you would call you is watching and aware of what you are aware of. And that observing you never changes. So if your roles are constantly changing, yet the you that you would call the observer you has been there your whole life. So it must be that while you have roles that you play, you don't experience yourself to be your roles. Notice how that's something to be experienced, not just a belief. Just look and notice the distinction between what you were looking at and the you that is looking. And now I'll invite you to consider another area, that of emotions, feeling states. Notice how your emotions are constantly changing. Sometimes you might feel love and sometimes hatred. Sometimes calm and then other times tense. Happiness, sadness. Even now, you may be experiencing whatever emotions you're experiencing, whether interest or boredom or relaxation. Think of things that you have liked and don't like any longer, or of fears that you once had that are now resolved. In fact, the only thing you can count on with emotions is that they will change. A strong wave of emotion can come and then will pass in time. And yet, while these emotions come and go, notice in some deep sense that you do not change. So while you have emotions, you don't experience yourself to be just your emotions. Allow yourself to realize this as an experience, not just a belief. In some very important and deep way, you experience yourself as a constant. You are you through it all. So just notice your emotions for a few more moments. And notice also that you are noticing them. And now I'll invite you to turn to another area. This might be trickier. The area of thoughts. Thoughts are difficult to work with because they tend to hook us, and we can get pulled into the stream of thinking. But if that happens, just come back to the sound of my voice, back to observing. Notice how your thoughts are constantly changing. There were things that at one time you were ignorant of, then you went to school and learned new ways of thinking. You've gained new ideas and new knowledge. Sometimes you think about things one way and sometimes another. Sometimes your thoughts may make little sense. Sometimes thoughts seemingly come up automatically from out of nowhere, and they're constantly changing. Look at your thoughts ever since we started the meditation today, and how many different thoughts you've had. And yet, in some deep way, the you that is aware of what you think is not changing. So that must mean that while you have thoughts, you don't experience yourself to be just your thoughts. Just notice this. And even as you realize this, notice that your stream of thoughts continues, and you may get caught up with them. And yet, any instant where you realize that, you also realize that a part of you is standing back watching it all. So maybe now watch your thoughts for a few moments. And as you do, notice also that you are noticing them. So notice that you can directly experience that you are not just your body or your roles or your emotions or your thoughts. These things are the content of your life, while you are the arena, the context, the space in which they unfold. Maybe notice things you've been struggling with and trying to change, and how those things are not you. Like an internal war going on against perhaps thoughts or feelings that you don't want. Notice that no matter how this war goes, you will be there unchanged. See if you can take advantage of this connection to let go just a little bit. Maybe you don't need to be so invested in all this content as a measure of your life. Just notice all these different experiences that show up. And as you do, notice that you are still here, being aware of what you are aware of. Maybe now again, imagine that you can see yourself right now as you are sitting here in the room that you're in, as if you're outside your body watching you, seeing yourself, picturing the room you're in, all the objects around you. And then once I ring the bell, coming back to this room, to this meeting, and at that point, opening your eyes, being aware of your experiences from there.